Sir, 3 points.
How far are you looking at the door?
Next recruit 3.
Hi, welcome back again. This is Ryan Love with Unified Fire Authority here in Magna, Utah. As I'm following along with recruit class number 53 here just behind me. There's 32 recruits out here, and they are 1 month in their recruit camp process, 4 weeks in, and this week was awesome. I call it the week of firsts, as we had Medic Fighter 109 come out a couple days ago, and they brought their straight stick, 100-foot straight stick out, and the recruits for the first time, for many of their first times, were able to climb that 100-foot ladder at a 75-degree incline. And it was quite the experience for many of them. We also had them fight fire for the first time. The last 4 weeks, we concentrated on getting comfortable in our protective equipment, our self-contained breathing apparatus, really working on those fundamental skills. And then this week, finally, we were able to get them out and fight fire for the first time. So it was a really exciting week. I've got some great content for you once again. Stay with us. Let's check it out.
Hey, this is Chad Pate, Unified Fire, Class 53. We're out here today doing some vertical vent training. We're getting their hands on the tools mainly, go through safe practices on the way they need to hold the saw, manage the saw, and work with a partner. So as you can see behind me, we've got them going up the ladder. We've got an instructor with them, a couple instructors, making sure that they're holding the saws, using the saws as they should so they're not gonna hurt themselves. We're running into a little trouble right now, but we'd rather be doing safe practices than have somebody put a bar into their leg or anything like that. The challenges we face when we're doing any type of vertical ventilation is we're above the fire. So we have minimal time, especially with modern construction. We have seconds really that we are on the roof if we do this technique at all. So as they get up there, they throttle up, they sink their blade into the roof, and they cut through the roof membrane. They make a cut towards the first truss, and then they'll continue making those cuts into a square, typically 4x4. After that 4x4 hole's cut, we can then cantilever that section up and punch a hole through the ceiling wherever fire attack is happening below, and hopefully get all the products of combustion up and out of the house instead of through the house. Not only protecting life and property as far as civilians go, but also taking care of our guys, keeping the heat off them. It's a dual effort. We have our truck companies, our engine companies. The engine companies are putting the fire out. Truck companies are making their job safer and better by removing the heat and those type of things through exhaust ports like this in the roof, or through horizontal ventilation with fans.
Hey, this is Scott with Ladder 109 C Platoon, out here with the recruits in Magna at the training tower. We have a bunch of stations set up, and what's cool about today is we're actually giving the recruits time to be on our aerials. We have a pretty good fleet of aerials in our department. One in particular is our Kearns ladder. It's a 100-foot straight stick, Seagrave. This will be their first time climbing this aerial ladder. We have it set at 100 feet. and the climbing angle is 75 degrees. It's pretty steep angle. I remember the first time that I climbed an angle like this at a height of 100 feet, it was pretty nerve-wracking. Once you're up there, every step you take, you feel that ladder moving. You feel every wind. You feel your heartbeat almost up there. So it's really important to get these guys experience and get them comfortable doing stuff like this, because we can be asked to do this daily when we're out in the field doing fire operations. So today we're just getting together and getting them comfortable with ground ladders, ladder operations, truck functions, climbing aerials to balconies, and just getting comfortable with that type of job description and duties that we have.
Chris Bertram, I'm a recruit here at UFA. Today we're going through evolutions, doing different ladder drills, climbing them, putting them up against buildings. Also, we have our ladder trucks out here. Currently going to go up on this 100-foot ladder here. I'm definitely super nervous. I'm not a fan of heights, so hopefully today we can kind of conquer that and get through it. And hopefully for the future we can be better. I was definitely really nervous, but once I got going, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Kind of got into a rhythm, got out of my own head, and by the time I knew it, I could see the top. Got up there, hooked in, looked around, and it was almost a sense of relief once I got up there, and it was just kind of a beautiful sight.
Okay, your partner's going to come up the ladder. How are you going to put the ladder while you're already up on the roof? Okay, good.
Okay, so what we're doing here is we're doing putting a roof ladder up on the roof and for a vertical ventilation operation. So what we're doing is we're taking one 24-foot extension ladder with the 16-foot extension ladder married to that ladder with a tool in each hand, so that we're simulating your apparatus is clear away from your objective and you want to take everything with you. So what we're doing is putting the extension ladder against the building, and then we're putting the roof ladder on top, and the two firefighters are working together to hurry and get up on that roof for vertical ventilation or whatever else is needed to go on up there.
So you are testing when you're sounding to make sure that the integrity of this roof is going to hold your weight. You do not want to fall through. So when you're not just, it's not just this, you are sounding to make sure that you trust that roof for you, and not only you, but your buddy and your crew coming up. So sound it like you mean it, okay? Good job, guys. Come on down.
All right, so today we're out here with Camp 53 doing forcible entry on various types of doors. So one of the things that we're teaching them to use today is our K12 rotary saw. This morning we were cutting on our pitched roof with the chainsaws, but this afternoon we're doing some garage door cuts. So the recruits have had these on their shoulders and been doing a cut parallel to the ground to make access for a garage fire or storage unit fire, something like that. And then also on our other prop, we've got a few different types of doors. We've got inward swinging, outward swinging, commercial, residential. So just teaching them how to use their tools to make entry into the various types of doors that we could encounter.
Docking. Change the angle. Pull it towards you. There you go. Now drive it.
The recruits from Class 53 this week learned about forcible entry, and today they're putting all the stuff that they've learned into action. So this is just one of our few forcible entry props. We've got two big heavy metal doors, and today in here they're using the hand tools, the Halligan and the flathead axe to learn some conventional forcible entry skills. So on outside, they also are using our power saws, our K12s, and using those for forcible entry on commercial doors as well.
get the hose pulled. Get ready, we're gonna go through the get it up there. Who do you want a nozzle? The hose. Just pull. Cronus. Only you want a nozzle. Yes, sir. Who's his backup? I am, sir. He is, sir. Let's go.
You're going to check to make sure the door opens? Yes, sir. Now, it pushes in. Look at your conditions. You got smoke coming down. Yes, sir. Look around real quick. Yes, sir. See if you see anybody. Nothing. Okay. Open the door. Start sounding the floor. You know it's below you.
Notorious.
Notorious.
B-I-G.
B-I-G.
Yeah, that's me. Slicers is an acronym we're teaching Recruit Camp 5-3. Basically just gives them another acronym to use that they can work out in their head. Okay, so we're looking at size up. So as they come up to this structure, they're gonna get their first initial size up. Locate, so they're gonna, as they're doing their 360s, try to locate that fire. Okay, then they're gonna isolate if they can. They're gonna cool from a protected position. So once they get into the structure, they come up with their plan. They're going to cool from a protected position. We're really working on that with them today as far as staying out of flow paths, cooling their environment as they're going, and staying in that protected position. After they're going to cool that, they're going to go ahead and extinguish, right? So they get into that protected position, extinguish the fire, okay? And then the last part of that would be your rescue and salvage, okay? And those are actions of opportunity, right? So it's not always just slicers and we have to always think rescue and salvage right off the bat. But if we show up and we're teaching the recruits that if a rescue presents themselves, then that's where they're going to input that somewhere in that slicers acronym and act on that.
Hey! How long has this been running? Too long, sir. Hurry up!
Welcome back to Recruit Camp. We're back here today, Wednesday. We've got both groups back together today. The object of the day and the idea is we've kind of taught them a little bit about slicers today. So we're going to be burning in both buildings. We're going to allow each company to be in the basement prop and into the tuna can. So from there, we're going to light some fires. We're going to open and expose one from the exterior, give them the opportunity to see if they make that decision to go ahead and put water from the exterior on that fire and then make their way interior. And then another fire, we're going to close it all up so that they can't see it from the outside, make their way inside and start thinking about that safe location of where they can cool from inside and kind of working their way, using all the skills they've learned so far, and then having some brief ARs after and talk about what we did.
So today was our first time doing a burn. It's a little different from wildland, which is where I come from. So our main objective, my crew was tasked with fire attacks today. So our main objective was to get the hose and take the water and put the fire out. So in this prop, the fire was located in the upstairs bedroom. And so we had to get the water, so we had to deploy the hose from this engine here, figure out where it was, and then how to effectively move the hose through the building and up to where the fire was on the fire floor. So one of the biggest problems for us, at least, was communication, and I feel like we hear that a lot. It's pretty hard to communicate in there. It's smoky, you can't really see anything. So trying to come up with a secret hand signal or anything is really hard. So we kind of had to try to overcome that and figure out what our roles were as we were moving through the building. So definitely on the next one, it would be a little bit easier since we've kind of already had that experience. So that was a big challenge for us. The other one is remembering all the things we've been learning in the classroom and applying it to the real world. So sounding the floors, how to move the hose effectively and not burn yourself out before you even get to the fire and have to start the real work.
How'd it go overall? I really suck.
Explain.
So I spaghettied the hose at the bottom. I made it, which made it super hard to flake out and get up the stairs.
Okay.
Which is why it took so long to get up there. And then even once I was in there, I was outstripping my hose man, trying to get around the corner. But because I left him with that spaghetti mess, it took forever to try to get it through the door.
So you're home.
So after each scenario or incident, we do what's called an after action review, or AAR. So they're doing one behind us right now. So what the AAR, or after action review, covers is basically areas we can improve. So we usually cover, what was planned, what actually happened, and then where we can improve. So it's not really about assigning blame or pointing fingers. It's more about identifying opportunities to learn and grow either as a team, an organization, etc.
Hey, Sean Garrett with Class 53. This week we had the recruits continuing their isolated skills with hose management, and we built on that and added some Firestream and Firestream application. So the way we word it to them is water mapping, and we described to them the use of the Firestream not only to be directed onto the seat of the fire or the compartment that's on the fire, but as we move through a building or when a specific structure gives us the opportunity to apply a Firestream from the exterior, whether it's a failed window or a failed door. So to give you an idea, with water mapping, we direct a Firestream to a surface that's most advantageous to be able to displace water droplets and cover as many surfaces within a compartment as we can. And I think a lot of people, it's water in is good, but what we want to do is we want to bring that nozzle in tight. So if we're going to apply the Firestream to this window up here that you can see, bring this nozzle in tight so the Firestream, when it's applied, is just barely above that window sill, and it's hitting that ceiling really, really close to the exterior wall. And it's not going to be like a laser off of a mirror where it's going to deflect and go in, but that water is going to ride the ceiling, go to the walls, and then ride the walls down. And what we're doing is all the combustible surfaces in there, we're applying water to it, so it's going to absorb a lot of that heat and that energy, and we can dramatically reduce the temperatures within that compartment. Now we want to be able to do this. It's going to change the conditions inside for any firefighter crews that are committed to the interior working, whether it's search and rescue, whether it's fire attack, whether it's whatever else, salvage and overhaul, ventilation, and then any trapped occupants that are inside too is going to dramatically increase their chances of survival. On the inside of the structures, we talk about the same things. The smoke and the heat as it moves through a structure towards any openings, specifically ones that we create for our access to bring the hose line in. We still want to be able to map the structure with our Firestreams and coat as many combustible surfaces as we can, because it's going to change that environment as we move towards the seat of the fire in the room that is on fire.
Usually at this time we're working out pretty hard, but we're going to kind of back it off a little bit. We're going to work on air management now that they've kind of got their cardio down. So what we're going to have them do is we're going to have them walk up the tower twice, kind of just get their blood going, and then we're going to come in here, get them in a circle, and have them throw these cones to each other. If the team that one person throws the cone to the other person drops it, they come out, they do some medicine ball squats just to kind of simulate that working in a fire environment. Once their low air alarm rings, we're going to have them continue to work until they get to about 500 psi in their bottle, and then we're going to lay them down in the recovery position. We're going to turn their bottles off on them, okay? And we're going to have them work through that process of checking their regulator, going down through their pass, making sure everything is good, and then getting back to their cylinder to make sure something hasn't turned their bottle off while they were working. They're going to turn that back on. We're going to have them continue to lay down and have them continue to kind of conserve air a little bit, and then we may come up and we may surprise them with that and see if they can work through that process. But they need to know, being on their left side, if something happens inside of a fire, that all the important stuff is on the right side of their person, right? Whether that be their cylinder turn on, whether that be their bypass, or whether that be their pass device. So that's kind of the idea this morning, what we're going to work with.
Don't put me on video.
All right, and that concludes week number 4 of 16 out here in Magna with recruit class number 53. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel below, and we'll see you next week. Again, this is Ryan Love signing off.